People don't lose respect because they are good people. They lose respect because they confuse goodness with submission. You are taught since childhood to be nice, to avoid conflict, to always be agreeable, to put everyone else first. And slowly, without noticing it, people stop taking you seriously. They interrupt you, they ignore your opinions, they use you for convenience, they remember you only when they need something from you. You become invisible in the moments that matter. Then you watch someone like Thomas Shelby, calm, controlled, respected, and deep inside you feel the sting. People don't treat you like that. And the truth is harsh. They don't respect you because you trained them not to. You taught them you will tolerate anything. You taught them your time is cheap. You taught them your boundaries are negotiable. And now you feel resentment toward everyone. But the first person you need to face is yourself. Thomas Shelby represents a psychological archetype. The person who stops asking for permission to exist. His presence doesn't come from shouting or threatening, it comes from certainty. He moves slowly because he does not feel hunted by the world. He speaks calmly because he does not fear silence. He makes decisions without begging for validation because he understands that hesitation kills authority. In real life, you do not need to become him, but you can learn the principles behind why people respond to him with respect. People respect emotional stability. People respect those who do not panic. People respect those whose yes means yes and whose no means no. They respect people who don't need constant approval like oxygen. Let's begin with something that will make many people uncomfortable. Being too nice is often a strategy to avoid rejection. You aren't kind purely out of virtue. Sometimes you are kind because you're afraid of being disliked. You smile when you want to disagree. You say, "It's fine," when it's not fine. You forgive without consequence. You let people cross lines because you are terrified they might leave if you say no. And here's the brutal paradox. The more you try to be liked at any cost, the less you actually are. You become a placeholder, a background character in your own life, dependable but not valued. People don't admire doormats, they step on them. Watch how Thomas Shelby reacts to disrespect. He doesn't explode emotionally. He also doesn't swallow it with fake smiles. He acknowledges it with calm certainty. That psychological space between stimulus and response is power. Non-reactivity doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means you are not controlled by them. This is the core difference between being nice and being respected. The nice person avoids discomfort. The respected person tolerates discomfort when necessary. Respect grows where discomfort is not immediately avoided. Think about your life. How many conversations have you avoided because they were uncomfortable? How many times did you accept situations that drained you because you didn't want to cause problems? Every avoided boundary silently trains the world to treat you worse. Meanwhile, the people who seem cold or too direct are often the ones people don't cross. That's not because they are cruel, it's because they communicate consequences without needing to scream. You don't need to threaten people, you just need to become someone who doesn't negotiate their self-respect. Another core element is presence. Thomas Shelby commands rooms not because he tries to dominate them, but because he is fully there. He is not desperately thinking about what others think of him every second. That mental freedom changes your body language automatically. Slow movement, steady gaze, composed breathing, all of that is simply the outer expression of an inner truth. He is not begging for acceptance. Ask yourself honestly, when you enter a room, are you thinking about what you think, or only about what others think of you? Because if your mind is always chasing external approval, your presence collapses before you even speak. Speech patterns matter as well. When you end every sentence like a question, when you stuff your phrases with fillers like "I guess" or "maybe," When you apologize before sharing your thoughts, you tell everyone around you that you don't trust your own voice. Thomas Shelby speaks slowly and decisively because his thoughts are not filtered through fear. You don't need to imitate his accent or style. You need to remove the insecurity that poisons your voice. The goal isn't aggression, it's certainty. There is a huge difference between speaking loudly and speaking with weight. Volume demands attention. Conviction earns it. Respect is also connected to emotional restraint, not suppression, restraint. Most people are thrown around by every emotion they feel. Anger controls them, jealousy controls them, insecurity controls them. They react instantly, impulsively, dramatically. But watch respected people. They feel the same emotions. They simply don't let those emotions steer the wheel. When you learn to tolerate the discomfort of anxiety or anger without instantly reacting to it, people sense something different in you. They sense depth, they sense gravity, they sense someone they cannot easily push around. That changes how they treat you. But the deepest reason Thomas Shelby is respected is leverage. He understands what people want and what they fear. In the real world, leverage is built through self-development. Skills give you options. Financial stability gives you options. Fitness gives you options. Confidence comes from knowing that if someone disrespects you, you do not depend completely on them for survival. Many people can't set boundaries not because they're weak, but because they're trapped. They depend entirely on the job they hate, on the relationship that drains them, on the environment that diminishes them. If you want real respect, build options. When you can walk away, you will not need to beg. Your posture, your tone, your decisions will naturally shift. However, there is a cost. People will not like the new you. When you stop being endlessly available, those who exploited your kindness will accuse you of being selfish. When you start saying no, those who benefited from your yes will feel offended. When you stop laughing at disrespect disguised as jokes, some people will call you sensitive. But here's the truth you need to face. Their comfort has been purchased with your frustration for years. You were the one paying the price quietly. Respecting yourself will disturb the people who were comfortable with you disrespecting yourself. That is unavoidable. Developing respectability starts internally. You cannot fake it for long. You need to do difficult things every single day that prove to your own nervous system that you are capable. Work out when you don't feel like it. Say no when you're afraid. 2. Practice speaking slower when you want to rush. Look people in the eyes when you're used to hiding. These are not cinematic gestures. They are small acts of personal sovereignty. Over time, your brain stops viewing you as a fragile being that must be protected and starts viewing you as someone who can handle life. That internal shift radiates outward. And finally, the most important transformation: stop trying to be liked more than you want to be respected. Kindness is powerful when it rests on a foundation of strength. Kindness without strength is exploitation waiting to happen. Be the person who can project calm, speak with conviction, walk away when necessary, endure discomfort, build competence, and hold boundaries without becoming bitter. That is what people see when they look at Thomas Shelby. Not a perfect man, but a man who refuses to live on his knees. When you stop chasing approval, something profound happens. You will lose some people, but the ones who remain will treat you differently. Conversations will change. Opportunities will change. Your relationship with yourself will change. You will no longer wake up with the quiet resentment of knowing you betrayed yourself one more time just to keep the peace. Respect is not loud. Respect is quiet, stable, and unshakable. And it begins the moment you decide that being nice at the cost of your dignity is no longer acceptable.